The name of this program, Physicists Are Fools, may surprise some people, since in general physicists are very bright and quite knowledgeable. But knowledge and intelligence have nothing to do with being a fool. You fool somebody by convincing him that something untrue is true. You are a fool if you refuse to accept what you believe is wrong and create excuses and justifications for continuing in your belief. When a physicist does an experiment and comes to the conclusion that the experiment knows that he is watching and changes the results when he is a little delusional and a little paranoid. Other physicists who accept this explanation are fools. What needs to be done is theory needs to be modified to conform to experimental results. It used to be that physics was based on observation, experimentation, and logic. This is no longer the case. Dark matter, dark energy, black holes are not a result of observation. They are a result that theory needs them, therefore they must exist. When a physicist says his job is to describe what is happening, not to explain it, it's like a book critic saying his job is to tell you what words are used in the book, not to tell you what the book says. When a physicist says that his beliefs do not have to make sense, it means he believes in nonsense. And that is what modern physics has become. Theories are maintained even though there is no evidence to support them. The theory that the speed of light is constant is pure speculation. There is no support for it. If you ask a physicist, they will say that the Michelson-Morley experiment proves that the speed of light is constant. The Michelson-Morley experiment was designed to detect the ether, or the medium in which light traveled. The theory being that the ether permeated the universe and the Earth traveled through it, and the experiment could detect this motion. Of course it did not, since the theory was wrong. To cite the negative results based on a theory you know is wrong as proof of what you believe is seeking for justification and is not science. In the case of nothing exceeding the speed of light, there have been experiments where waves are faster than the speed of light. Instead of disproving the theory, a new subatomic particle, the tunneling photon, was created to explain why, even though the wave traveled faster than the speed of light, it was not going faster than the speed of light. With today's telescope, astronomers observe whole solar systems moving faster than the speed of light. But this observation does not shake the belief that nothing can go faster than the speed of light. Modern physics should be called phooeyology because it's based on a bunch of phooey. I would call it crapology, but there really is something called crap. What I intend to do is modify theories to conform to experiment and observation, not modify observation and experiment to conform to theory. In phooeyology, one of the favorite means of supporting your theory is the creation of subatomic particles. In this first part of Physicists Are Fools, we will do away with two subatomic particles. Most of the other ones will be discarded as the theories creating them are found to be wrong. It used to be in physics that the atom was described as the smallest particle of matter. When radioactivity was discovered, this theory was shown to be wrong, and scientists tried to discover what particles and what the structure of the atom was. One of the experiments involved placing different radioactive materials in a shielded container with a hole in it, allowing the particles to escape. This beam of particles was then passed between two oppositely charged plates. The particles that bent towards the positive plates became the beta particles, which turned out to be electrons. The particles that were unaffected by passing through the plates became the neutron. The particles that were attracted to the negatively charged plate became the alpha particle. It turned out that the alpha particle was not a particle at all, but a subatomic molecule made up of two neutrons and two protons. Since the repelling force of the positive charges of the proton should destroy this molecule, something had to be there holding this molecule together. The answer they came up with was the gluon, a subatomic particle that jumped between the neutron and the proton, holding them together. Why this particle would jump between the two, or why this would hold them together, was not explained. But with subatomic particles, they can behave any way you want, and no one will discover evidence to the contrary. Subatomic particles, for the most part, are small enough never to be discovered, but big enough to fill any hole in your theory. Instead of accepting this, we will re-examine the neutron. The neutron has the mass of a proton and electron combined. If it was a subatomic molecule with both a positive and negative charge, it would pass between the two plates unaffected. The negative charge of a neutron would then attach to a proton, forming the alpha particle. This description of a neutron as a subatomic molecule with dual charges would also explain another aspect of the neutron. Why does the neutron exist for billions of years in the nucleus of an atom, but when out of the atom it breaks into a proton, an electron, and a gamma ray within a half hour? If the neutron was a particle with no charge, as it moved in a magnetic field, nothing would happen. If, however, it had a dual charge, as it moved, it would represent two currents going in opposite direction. According to the right-hand rule, the magnetic field would then push these two currents in opposite direction, creating a shearing force that would split the neutron into the proton and electron. An experiment can be done to see if this is the correct description. Instead of passing a beam of neutrons between two plates, pass it alongside one charged plate. No matter if the charge is positive or negative, if the neutron has a dual charge, the beam will bend towards the charged plate. In physics, this would mean that the neutron is really a dual charge molecule. In fluidology, or modern physics, this would indicate a new subatomic particle that magically assumes a charge opposite to the field in which it is. In the next episode of Physicists Are Fools, we will do an experiment that shows that the force between two magnets is not equal to the product of the magnets over the distance square, and that the force of a magnet does not decrease as approximately the cube of the distance.